Hey guys, I do have a Monday editorial for you. That's right, it's Monday, first day of the week. You guys ready to get at it? Now, I went through a slew of news stories. I just really couldn't find anything the last couple of days or so where officers were violated policy or broke the law, where officers need accountability and transparency, so to speak. Just a lot of shootings, a lot of stabbings, a lot of crime, but it's usually it's things that you just really can't put on the officer. And so, that's what I'm about, is when I do these editorials, I'm looking for cops that are making bad decisions, cops that are breaking policy, violating the law, breaking the law, violating policy. There you go. That need accountability and transparency put on them. So I didn't really find that until this story here, and I thought I'll just go through this one. It has to do with us. It has to do with transparency right here in California. It comes out of San Diego. Now we know we had a little bit of stuff going on in San Diego this weekend. F/Off Productions on YouTube, or CCW C-Dub, who thinks I'm a troglodyte because I've watched somebody's video that he don't like. Well, I'm not your girlfriend, dude. So stop acting like that, all possessive. Like, you watched that video. Don't go watch that troglodyte. You're out of here. I'm dumping you. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I'll slap me in the face. But you guys need a little bit of a laugh. Come on. But if you go watch that F/Off Productions, you'll see his videos where he's walking around on CCW's property. If someone's paying rent, it don't matter if it's on your property. If they're paying rent to stay somewhere, that's their domain. You can't trespass. I don't care if it's your property. They're paying for that section of the world. So that happened, and then he, of course, excuse me, I need my coffee in the morning. And then, of course, he had the cops call down on him a couple times, and he ended up getting arrested. Go watch those videos if you want. But that's not what we're going to cover out of San Diego this morning. What we're going to cover out of San Diego this morning has to do with something else. It comes from the San Diego Tribune. Thank you, Lindsay Winkley, not Winkler, but Winkley. Lindsay Winkley for this story. We're going to take it and do an editorial for all of those that want to know what's going on with law enforcement across their nation, particularly coming out of California, and particularly more so than that, San Diego. And this has to do with what we deal with on an everyday basis. How many times has something happened where the police has said, well, the body camera just shut off? Or, well, I turned the body camera off, but then I turned it back on, when the important things started happening. Well, what happened when the camera was off? There was one recently I did, and I did so many editorials each day, I don't remember where it was at, but where two body cameras went off and then the officers turned them back on, and I thought, well, maybe they go off after a certain time. Somebody brought up a good point. Two body cameras went off at the same time, just boop. Did they start the body cameras at the same time? That's an interesting question. But their body cameras went off and they turned them back on, and somebody ended up dead. A guy died from drugs, and one of the cops joked, remember, he's got incarceritis, because he thought it was funny that the guy was dying, I guess. And some people may say, well, he didn't know he was dying. Well, he knew something was going on because the guy started saying, I can't breathe, and went limp. But my point is, what happened when the body camera was off? We don't know that, because the body camera was off. That's why all of you, when you see the police out there, when you see a deputy or a police officer, law enforcement agent, anybody out there, and you see their car sitting there, walk up and start recording it. I don't care what they're doing. Just start recording, because they could be doing something that's a violation of policy or breaking the law. They could be doing something that's hurting someone. You walk up and then all of a sudden you find someone sitting on the ground in front of their car. Oh, hold on. He's got somebody sitting here. What is this, a pedestrian check? You never know. I saw two cops sitting in front of the bus stop the other night. It was like, I think 2:00 in the morning or something. And I walked down there to see what was going on, and there was nobody there. And they said, hey, doing, Jimmy? Hey. Hi. I said, hey, what's up, guys? And then I walked off. But I didn't know. I thought maybe they had somebody sitting on the bus stop that they were checking out. I thought, well, let me go down here and make sure this person's, not getting their rights violated. Of course, there was nobody there, but I didn't know until I walked up. You see, what if I just said, oh, just two cops sitting there, and kept driving, and somebody was getting their Fourth Amendment rights violated? So, guys, you got to record the police. Every time you see a cop car, you got to stop and go, I need to go over here and check this out real quick. So what's going on in San Diego that we need to talk about that has to do with police transparency and accountability and cameras? Well, it's Assembly Bill 748. That's right. Assembly Bill 748, signed into law last year, requires departments statewide in California to release body-worn camera and other video and audio recordings of officer shootings and serious uses of force within 45 days. The county's two largest law enforcement agencies appear to be responding differently to new California law meant to increase police transparency. Assembly Bill 748, signed into law last year, requires departments statewide to release body-worn camera and other video and audio recordings of officer shootings and serious use of force within 45 days, unless doing so would interfere with an ongoing investigation. The law went into effect in July. I remember when it did. San Diego Police Department officials said this week that they have already started including more detail in news releases about shootings and serious use of force to ensure the public has the proper context when videos are released. After a San Diego police officer shot a man in El Cerrito last month, for example, the department put out a lengthy statement on the matter. The shooting is the first in the city of San Diego to fall under the new law. Now, let me talk about that for a second real quick. They said that, look, we're releasing more detail in news releases. You're releasing more detail in news releases. Okay, CNN. All right, Fox News. Sorry to name them, but it's just that those are the two where everybody says, yeah, the liberal media, they tell us what they want us to hear. You know, people talk about CNN and Fox News as, yeah, they go, okay, cross this out, cross that out, and just release it. And my point is, what are the police not telling us in these detailed police reports? Well, we're giving you more information. Yeah, you're giving us more information, but what are you not giving us? That's what we really want to know. Okay, but I digress. We move on to the rest of the story here where it says San Diego. Now, I could not find a picture of this Sean Takeuchi. I looked everywhere on Google. This guy is like... that guy from, they called him Deep Throat from All the President's Men. Remember, he had information on Watergate and the Nixon administration, and he met in the shadows of the parking garage, and he gave over the information, and nobody knew who this guy was. They were all like, who is Deep Throat? We don't know who this guy is. Remember that? If you watch the movie with Redford and Hoffman. That's what this Sean Takeuchi reminds me of, because I could not find a picture of this guy anywhere. I did all kinds of combinations. Lieutenant Sean Takeuchi to San Diego Police Department, Lieutenant Sean Takeuchi. So I couldn't find pictures of this guy. I'm sorry. Normally I like to let you know who is speaking when I quote somebody in an editorial, but I can't find pictures of this guy anywhere. But we're going to quote him here. San Diego Police Lieutenant Sean Takeuchi says, quote, "We clearly understand the intent of the legislation. The public has asked to be presented with this information as soon as possible, and we intend to do that when possible." Conversely, the Sheriff's Department does not intend to release body-worn camera footage of deputy shootings until they've been reviewed by the San Diego County District Attorney's Office, a stance that's in line with the current county protocol that governs the release of video from law enforcement shootings. Although the law states body-worn camera footage should be released within 45 days, there are a number of exceptions included in the bill's language. Departments can request a year-long extension if investigators fear disclosing the video would substantially interfere with an investigation. Agencies can also withhold a video if there are concerns they wouldn't be able to adequately protect the privacy of someone in the footage. It's unclear which exception the Sheriff's Department plans to cite. So that's the story. There you go. So even though the law, the Assembly Bill 748 says that police have to release video or audio footage of a shooting or body-worn camera footage of a police shooting or use of force, serious use of force, within 45 days, there are so many exceptions they're saying in this bill that they could ask for a year-long extension. They could say, oh, no, one of the victims is in this video. We're not going to give it to you. It has to protect the privacy of one of our witnesses. One of our, criminal informants is in this video. They are going to try everything they can to keep from releasing this video footage. But also remember, not all police officers wear body cameras, so you have to record. Otherwise, it's his word versus their word. So just remember, everybody, get out there and record the police. No matter what, you see a law enforcement car, just if you have time, walk up and start recording it, because you could tell the truth. You could eventually tell the truth about something. And maybe, I'm not saying the officer would lie. I'm not saying all cops are going to lie. All cops are going to, turn in a false police report. I'm not going to say that. But so many law enforcement officers in my editorials nationwide, we've read about where they tried to justify something to protect themselves, and then it came out later, well, that's kind of not really happened, and then the officer is put on paid suspended leave or paid leave until the outcome of an investigation because they turned in a false report or turned in a report false information. A video camera from a building showed something different, or somebody was recording and it showed something different. So many times I've done editorials like that. So it's your footage that's going to save somebody. A cop in Glendale, Arizona. Was it Glendale? I think it was. Yeah. Where he walks up, the guy puts his hands up, and the sergeant comes up within 5 seconds and tases him. Now, those cops could have said, well, he was resisting. He reached in his pants. He was doing something. Video camera from a building showed him standing like this, and he gets tased. Why? I don't know, because the sergeant was pissed off because he had to chase after the guy or something. I don't know what was going on there. But we've seen that time and time again. Now, even if the sergeant had body camera footage or body camera on, what if he said, well, I forgot to turn it on. I was in the heat of the moment. That's why I always say my camera is always running. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you watching every day. This is your Monday editorial. News Now Ukaipa, letting you know what's going on with law enforcement across your nation, and particularly here in California, and more particularly in San Diego, where they're fighting the release of body camera footage and other video footage to the public. I want to know what you guys think in the comment section below. From what you've heard, I'm going to put the link to the full story in the description box that you can go through and read it and just kind of look at it for yourself and see it and, I don't know, kind of make an opinion. Thank you, guys. I'll be doing an editorial for you each day this week. Happy Monday. Start of the week.